The acoustics are just amazing in this historic building. You heard it. It is absolutely amazing. The sound of these people's voices. They're so talented. Just
Well, it brings everybody together. There's people that come out and look for their favorite crafters. There's people that make a day of it and come out. In Los Angeles, many travelers flying ahead of the busy holiday rush still face delays and long lines. Disruptions piled up across the country today. More than 6,000 flights were.
Maybe we should get that.
Nisha Davis Johnson is Christmas shopping for her granddaughter and checking prices carefully.
It's just so expensive to live in the U.S. right now. So anyway.
And we said we're going to put DC on the map as a city for lovers. And so, we wanted to go big and we wanted to break the record.
Parents are demanding action after a dog attacked outside Whiteford Elementary, raising concerns about student safety and communication with families.
Please send your prayers here to Rhode Island.
Less than 2 weeks before Christmas, snow blankets Brown University as the tight-knit community deals with the aftermath of a fatal shooting.
To the 9 injured, get well fast.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. The acoustics are just amazing in this historic building. You heard it. It is absolutely amazing. The sound of these people.
Well, it brings everybody together. There's people that come out and look for their favorite crafters.
I think when people are here and when they leave the festival, you're a bit in awe of how global the birth of Christ is and how it has.
Diplomatic efforts to bring an end to Russia's almost 4-year assault on Ukraine have accelerated.
In Los Angeles, many travelers flying ahead of the busy holiday rush still face delays and long lines. Disruptions piled up.
Maybe we should get that.
Nisha Davis Johnson is Christmas shopping for her granddaughter and checking prices carefully.
It's just so expensive to live in the
And we said we're going to put DC on the map as a city for lovers. And so.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Mic check. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check.
There's only one over there now. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing levels, 1, 2. It's okay if you run it for me, just because we got to take now. 2, 3. Testing levels, 1.
It's so dark and it's so muddy. It's such a shame. These cameras suck.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing levels, 1, 2.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News at 11. I'm Michael Sandlin. We have multiple breaking news stories to cover first. Starting with this evening, there was an hours-long police presence at a central Toledo apartment complex that led to multiple people being detained. According to police, it all started when a man entered a nearby hospital with a gunshot wound around 3:30. Evidence led officers to the Port Lawrence homes off of Avondale and 15th to execute a search warrant. Evidence at the scene indicated suspects were potentially still inside. WTOL 11 was at the scene and witnessed multiple people in handcuffs. Meanwhile, the victim is expected to live. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we continue to learn more. And we have an update to an investigation at the Oakwood Garden Apartments in Springfield Township. We first told you about this on Friday when Lucas County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of shots fired in a vehicle crash just north of Hill Avenue. That's where they found 21-year-old Tenaro Pounds, who had been shot in a vehicle. Pounds was transported to the hospital and was later pronounced dead. A maroon-colored SUV was seen leaving the area, and multiple shell casings were found in the parking lot. The suspect has been identified as 20-year-old Jordan Graves, who has turned himself in and is now in custody. And over in California, firefighters were called to a Brentwood home Sunday afternoon where they found the bodies of a 78-year-old man and a 68-year-old woman. The home has been confirmed by CBS to be Rob Reiner's home. Rob Reiner is 78 and his wife Michelle is 68. Though authorities have not identified them or provided further details, it has been confirmed to be an apparent homicide. Now, this remains an active scene as investigators are continuing to arrive at the director's home. Additionally, Variety and TMZ are reporting that it is Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle who were killed. Reiner first rocketed to fame on the hit television show All in the Family, playing the role of Mike Meathead Stivic. A serious two-vehicle injury occurred on State Route 66 south of the Defiance-Williams County line in Tiffin Township earlier this morning, around 1:50 in the morning. Now, according to OSHP, a 47-year-old struck the rear of an ODOT plow truck as it was actively treating State Route 66 with its lights flashing. The 47-year-old's vehicle ran off the right side of the roadway and caught fire. That driver was transported to a local hospital. The driver of the plow was luckily not injured. Alcohol is believed to have been a factor in the crash, which currently remains under investigation. Now let's get over to that blistering cold weather we've all been dealing with today. Let's bring in meteorologist John Birchfield. John, it has been absolutely brutal on the skin. I understand tomorrow morning is a repeat performance.
Yeah, Michael, going to be another cold morning, and we're already seeing impacts to the bus stop and the commute as well, with school delays that will be possible due to the bitter cold and wind chills near to below zero. There will be 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so it is going to be a very breezy day, and it's actually going to be a little colder south of Toledo tomorrow, already with 7-degree temperatures in Putnam and Hancock counties, and sub-zero wind chills, feeling like -5 in Fremont, -5 in Findlay, and -8 right now in Ottawa. That bus stop forecast going to be downright cold, near 10 degrees, but it's going to feel considerably colder when you factor in that breeze. Wind chills going to be near to below zero. Even into the afternoon, that feels like is only going to be in the teens. And then as we head towards Tuesday, finally seeing some improvements in how the weather feels outside. Sub-zero wind chills not going to be lasting much longer. This week, a gradual warm-up is going to send those temperatures climbing up into the 40s. And Thursday, that is going to be our next storm system. It's not going to bring us snow, but it is going to make for a rainy day, and there's going to be some strong winds to go along with it. I'm going to preview the hourly timing, and also our 10-day forecast has Christmas Eve in it. You won't want to miss that forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, John. Well, that warm-up might be on the way, but we're very far from it right now. 6 counties are under a level 1 snow emergency. Drivers in Hancock, Ottawa, Sandusky, Seneca, Wood, and Wyandotte counties are urged to drive with caution as roadways are hazardous and may be icy. Also, 14 schools will be under a 2-hour delay tomorrow morning as well due to the cold. Pay attention to the crawl at the bottom of your screen to see if your school is one of them. Also, Our Lady of Perpetual Help School will be closed tomorrow, but not due to the weather. The school reports they have a water main break. Now tonight, parents at Whiteford Elementary are raising serious concerns after a mother was viciously attacked by a dog while dropping her child off at school Monday morning. Our Dominique O'Neill talked with parents and joins us in studio to let us know what they're saying. Dom, what did they tell you?
Well, Michael, parents tell me they're shaken and fearfully worried this could happen again, especially after learning new details about how violent this attack was. I have to warn you, the video you're going to see is graphic and viewer discretion is advised. Parents are demanding action after a dog attacked outside Whiteford Elementary, raising concerns about student safety and communication with families. Caroline Riley is a Whiteford parent who lives close to the school, and she says she's been replaying the events in her head all week.
It's horrifying to me. I was at that same spot 30 minutes before this happened with my two children, my almost 2-year-old and my 4-year-old. I wouldn't have been able to grab both of my children as quickly as she did. So one of my children could have been attacked.
And the lack of information has her up in arms. Riley says parents were initially told only that a medical situation occurred, and only later did she learn the victim was another Whiteford parent. And after reviewing police video, she says the reality was terrifying.
We figured it was just something minor. And then on Friday, Caroline, my friend, let me know that it was actually a pretty severe dog attack to our friend.
That's Erin Schoen Marsh, another concerned Whiteford mother. She and Riley have both now seen the shocking video showing the dog running up from a nearby unfenced yard, attacking the mother as she walked with her 3-year-old and dragging them across the ground for more than a minute.
She kicked the dog in the face as much as she could, but you know, she's a small woman, it was a big dog. Then the owner came running, tried to get the dog, couldn't get the dog to let go.
After the video was shared publicly, parents say the county dog warden reviewed the footage. They stressed they support the school, but want action to prevent another attack.
I'm worried for our whole community. Whiteford Elementary is a wonderful school, and we are like a family, and we're all worried about one another. We don't want to see anyone else hurt.
Parents say their message is simple: remove the dog from the property.
Just please relinquish the dog, you know, and then everyone will be safe there at the school without the dog there at risk.
And the child was not injured in the attack. The district says details were initially limited while coordinating with law enforcement, and that additional safety measures are now in place. Parents tell me a Sylvania School Board meeting is scheduled for Monday at 6 p.m. where this incident is expected to be discussed. Reporting in studio, Dominique O'Neill, WTOL 11.
We have new details about Sunday's terror attack in Sydney, Australia that targeted hundreds of people who were gathered to mark the first night of Hanukkah. The attack at Bondi Beach left 15 people dead and 38 others injured. Police killed one of the 2 suspects involved, and as Angus Watson explains, the heroic actions of one bystander likely saved more lives.
When Sydney's Jewish community came under attack by 2 armed terrorists, one man saved lives with this extraordinary act of bravery. Moving towards the gunman, he disarms him, turns the weapon on the perpetrator, and defends innocent people. CNN affiliate 7 News has identified him as a Muslim Australian who was also wounded in the attack. The man's bravery juxtaposed with horror and suffering on the first night of Hanukkah being celebrated in Bondi with a party in the park called Hanukkah by the Sea.
Guys, I feel horrible. I have no husband. I don't know where is his body. Nobody can give me any answer. That's it.
Your husband was killed in the attack?
Yes.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community.
Bondi Beach, home to a large and vibrant Jewish community, has been the scene of previous incidents of anti-Semitic violence. Incidents which have sharply risen across Australia and other parts of the world since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023.
It's one of the most joyous days of the calendar, and to think that people plotted to target this event, came there with automatic weapons and massacred people in cold blood, I can't believe it. I think it'll take a long time for us to recover from this.
One gunman on Sunday was shot and killed, another shot and wounded and now in police custody. Police identified a car linked to the dead shooter, containing multiple explosive devices, indicating a thought-out attack which stole innocent lives and the joy of the Hanukkah holiday. Angus Watson, CNN at Sydney's Bondi Beach.
According to CNN, the attack was orchestrated by a father and son duo. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed. The son, a 24-year-old, is currently in critical condition. And on this day, 13 years ago, 26 people were killed inside Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut. 20 of the victims were children between the ages of 6 and 7, and the other 6 were adult staff members. The shooter, a 20-year-old who had previously attended the school, died on scene from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The incident is the deadliest mass shooting at an elementary school in U.S. history. Providence, Rhode Island is hosting a community gathering tonight. The event was originally planned for the lighting of a Christmas tree and a menorah for Hanukkah, but it will now serve as a way to bring the community together after a fatal shooting at Brown University. John Loring reports.
Please send your prayers here to Rhode Island.
Less than 2 weeks before Christmas, snow blankets Brown University as the tight-knit community deals with the aftermath of a fatal shooting.
To the 9 injured, get well fast, and to the families of those 2 that are no longer with us, I pay my deepest regards and respects from the United States of America.
Authorities took a person of interest into custody at a Rhode Island hotel on Sunday, according to a law enforcement source.
When they entered the room, they were able to recover 2 firearms. One thing of significance is, I'm told by sources, that one of those firearms was equipped by a laser sighter, a laser sight device.
Sources also say witnesses of the shooting said the shooter used a laser sight during the attack. The FBI says cell phone data was used to locate the person now in custody.
We are doing what we know how to do in cooperation with our law enforcement partners to ensure that we adequately, thoroughly investigate the situation.
Police would not release the name of the person of interest, but have said the person is not a student at Brown.
It's going to take time. Detective work is not something that you can answer or solve within a minute. It takes time, and we have to make sure that we have the right evidence in order to prosecute somebody properly.
John Lawrence, WTOL 11.
The man detained in connection to the shooting is now set to be released, according to Providence's Mayor Brett Smiley during a news conference tonight. Smiley saying, quote, "The status of safety in our community remains unchanged, and we believe that you remain safe in our community." Coming up, holiday music filled a historic space tonight. A unique concert inside the Wood County Courthouse, and why organizers say it's the perfect place to celebrate the season.
Well, it may be cold now, but I am tracking a milder forecast ahead, and that's going to send those temperatures making a run for 50 degrees. I'll show you when the warm-up arrives in your full forecast next. Well, keep the hat and gloves handy. It's going to be another cold one tomorrow. Bitter cold out the door Monday morning, and there could be impacts to work and school, with some school delays possible due to those bitterly cold wind chills. Temperatures near 10 degrees, but the wind chills could dip down once again below zero. We have a temperature reading of 12 degrees in the metro. South of the metro, it is 6 in Findlay, 8 in Upper Sandusky, but the feels like is now below zero, -7 in Findlay, -8 in Ottawa. And due to the clearing skies, areas south and west of Toledo are actually going to get a little colder. There is some lake effect snow over towards the eastern side of Lake Erie, and you will notice that pocket of clearing that is going to enable the mercury to plunge overnight tonight. That bus stop forecast, temperature wise, we're going to be right around 10, but it's going to feel considerably colder. That smaller blue number, that is the wind chill that's going to stay around 10 degrees even into the afternoon. However, as we fast forward the clock into Tuesday, we finally make some improvements with temperatures that'll be above freezing. Now, if it feels like it's been a cold December, well, the data supports that. We have a 13-degree below average temperature deficit so far, and every single day this month has been colder than average. Not a single day at or above average thus far this December. 21 is the high temperature for tomorrow, but I'll warn you, that feels like is going to be considerably colder with southwest winds that'll be gusting to 30 miles an hour. Tuesday, we finally see some headway in the temperature department, climbing above the freezing mark, and then the middle of the week, a gradual thaw with temperatures around 40 degrees. Thursday is going to be the warmest day of the entire forecast, but you might not be able to enjoy it. It's going to be wet, and it's also going to be windy. That'll be a day I'd recommend making sure those outdoor Christmas inflatables and decorations are secured, because it is going to be blustery with 40 to 45 mile an hour gusts. Mild weather is expected midweek. A strong December cold front comes racing in from the west. By Thursday morning, a few spotty rain showers, but it's really the afternoon and the evening that the rain is going to become steady and soaking, with that wind ramping up. Gusts are going to be blowing in from the west southwest, and there is the chance that we see an isolated gust closer to 50 miles an hour. As that colder air works in, a few snowflakes are going to be possible late Thursday evening and Thursday night, but overall it's going to be a milder outlook ahead. Now, despite how cold it is now, above average temperatures from the Buckeye State all the way down to the Gulf Coast and much of the lower 48 United States are going to be feeling the warmth. So what does that mean for our white Christmas chances? Well, historically, it is about 1 in 3 years that we do see that white Christmas. However, things are trending down in terms of white Christmas chances, and now our chance is only at a 15% compared to a typical historical average of 35%. That extended forecast turns up the heat as we climb to 50 degrees Thursday. The first day of winter arrives next week, and as we look ahead towards Christmas Eve, I do expect temperatures to stay right around 40 degrees. Michael?
All right, thank you, John. Well, Wood County residents got to enjoy a holiday-themed concert tonight from inside a unique venue.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
The Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce hosted its second annual concert at the Wood County Courthouse today. 4 local acts performed on the grand staircase while attendees enjoyed the show from above. Organizers say it's the perfect stage for their voices to shine.
The acoustics are just amazing in this historic building. You heard it. It is absolutely amazing. The sound of these people's voices. They're so talented. It just brings everybody together to get that holiday cheer.
The event also served as a showcase of the courthouse itself, which has been in operation since 1896. The Toledo Craftsman Guild celebrated its 50th anniversary of the Winter Festival of Crafts Sunday afternoon at the Franciscan Center at Lourdes University. The event featured independent artists who created handcrafted items, often made to order and not found in stores. Items included holiday wreaths, floral, yard, and seasonal decorations, fragrances and lotions, fabric, home decor, decorative paintings, photography, and much more. And if you still can't find what you're looking for, you can also request custom pieces from independent artists.
Well, it brings everybody together. There's people that come out and look for their favorite crafters. There's people that make a day of it and come out with their family, like moms and daughters and stuff, and just do a shopping day and then grab lunch. So it's kind of just a fun way to come out and spend a little time with family and your friends.
Well, the show was this year's last opportunity to purchase an item from the Guild. The event will be returning once again next year. Over 1,000 nativity scenes are on display this holiday season at St. Paul's Lutheran Church downtown. It's all part of the church's annual Nativity Festival. The displays are a part of a donation from the Bowles family in Swanton, representing a lifetime's collection of nativity scenes, many of which are now a permanent exhibit at the church. The collection includes nativity scenes from over 23 countries and various worldwide cultures.
I think when people are here and when they leave the festival, you're a bit in awe of how global the birth of Christ is and how it has been represented throughout 2,000 years and more, and in so many different cultures it's portrayed in many, many different ways.
The Asteria Strings also performed at the church tonight. There's 2 more days to check out the nativity scenes, December 19th and December 21st. The Siberian Solstice Ensemble will perform on the final day of the festival. Holiday travel headaches and higher prices. Thousands of flights delayed as millions hit the road. Plus why many Americans say affording the season is harder than ever. Welcome back in. Let's take a look at some global and national headlines. President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff is preparing to meet with President Zelensky and European officials in Berlin today. They discussed the U.S. plan for a peace settlement to end the war in Ukraine. Anna Kubin has more.
Diplomatic efforts to bring an end to Russia's almost 4-year assault on Ukraine have accelerated in recent weeks, with all eyes now focused on those talks starting in Berlin on Sunday. The French presidency said the Americans needed to convince Russia to build on the common ground being established between the US, Europe and Ukraine. But that could be difficult. A key sticking point in negotiations is whether and to what extent Ukraine will concede territory to Russia. Ukraine rejected a US-drafted peace plan presented last month because it required Kyiv to surrender the entirety of the eastern Donbas region to Moscow, handing over more territory than Russia has been able to take by force. Kyiv submitted its own revised plan to US officials on Wednesday, affirming its need for ironclad security guarantees in the event of any future Russian aggression. And as talks gather steam, Zelensky was in London, Brussels and Rome this week and now is expected in Berlin. The The war rages on. Overnight on Friday, Russian drones and missiles attacked Ukrainian energy infrastructure in several regions, with Ukraine's energy ministry reporting widespread power outages. Ukraine, for its part, has stepped up its assault on Russian oil facilities in recent months, aiming to choke off a key source of the Kremlin's revenue. Meanwhile, the US is growing impatient and frustrated. President Trump has made it very clear that he is tired of the meetings and talking and just wants a deal done, ideally before Christmas. Even a face-to-face meeting between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska this summer wasn't enough to break the impasse. Will it be different this time? Anna Kubin, CNN, London.
The majority of Americans disapprove of President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. That's from a new poll from NBC News and SurveyMonkey, finding Trump's approval rating at 42%, with a disapproval rate of 58%. 27% of those polled say the economy is their top concern, with 53% saying they trust Democrats more to handle rising prices. The survey found that 71% disapprove of the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files. Trump also seems to be losing support from MAGA Republicans, dropping from a 70% strong approval rating in April to a 70% approval rate now. The job market is tough. Credit card debt is rising, and so are prices on many holiday items. Despite that, some analysts predict a record-breaking holiday travel season. Nicole Valdez has more information on what you need to know.
In Los Angeles, many travelers flying ahead of the busy holiday rush still face delays and long lines. Disruptions piled up across the country today. More than 6,000 flights were delayed and hundreds of others were canceled.
We always try to book the earlier flights because then we know they're most likely going out on time.
Jason Korkis and his 13-year-old son hope to get back home to Chicago,
Which is 0 degrees, so we're really not looking forward to that.
AAA expects a record-breaking 122 million Americans will travel for the Christmas and New Year's break, despite the tough travel year.
I think this year it's been a lot more stressful.
Daniela Perez says her trip to Reno today is the first of many this week.
I think people are having kind of that anxiety to want to travel just because everything that happened with the shutdowns and the delays, and there's just been a lot of issues with travel.
But ticket prices are up. A round-trip flight now costs an average of $900, a 7% jump from last year. Drivers could catch more of a break, paying under $3 a gallon for gas on average. The cheapest gas is in Oklahoma and the most expensive in Hawaii and California. Now, which airport you fly out of for the holidays makes a difference, with airports in cities like Salt Lake City, Minneapolis, and LA being rated among the most reliable based on data from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
There are now only 11 days before Christmas, but for some holiday shoppers, the season is turning out to be a little less merry. A new poll finds Americans are dipping into their savings or using buy now, pay later options. Allie Bauman has the details.
Maybe we should get that.
Nisha Davis-Johnson is Christmas shopping for her granddaughter and checking prices carefully.
It's just so expensive to live in the U.S. right now. So any way we can get a break, a deal, a coupon, anything like that, we're going to go for it.
A new poll finds roughly half of Americans say they're finding it harder than usual to afford holiday gifts this year, and 40% are having to dip into their savings. 68% view the country's economy as poor. That's in sharp contrast with how President Trump rated himself on the economy this past week.
A plus.
A plus.
Yeah, A plus, 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 plus.
In a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president said while he's created a great economy, quote, it may take people a while to figure all these things out. With less financial flexibility, Americans are pulling back on charity. The Salvation Army says it's hurting for donations in a time of great need.
Merry Christmas. The demand for our services have been up 20 to 25% across the country, while at the same time, so far this Christmas season, the kettle effort has been down about 5% in many parts of the country.
Now, we have not seen a report on hiring since September because of the government shutdown, but new numbers are set to be released on Tuesday. And new data on consumer prices and how Americans are feeling about their finances and the economy overall is also set to be released this week. Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
Well, John, it's almost time for us to say goodnight, or at this point, good morning.
Yeah.
But let's have one last talk about that weather.
It's going to be a cold morning. Yeah, sub-zero wind chills again, especially south of Toledo. That's where the coldest temperatures are expected.